Hi, my name's Cassandra, and I'm here from New Jersey. I am a victim of sexual violence. I'm also formerly incarcerated. I'm a 2017 Beyond the Bars Fellow, and I am also part of the National Council for Formerly Incarcerated and Incarcerated Women and Girls. I'm also part of a cohort from Rutgers University. All of us are formerly incarcerated students. We all got our associates from inside the prison, and we came out and we completed our studies through Rutgers. And basically we're trying to start an initiative from prison pipeline to education. You know, when you know better, you do better. And we found ways that, through statistics, that education does reduce recidivism. When you're educated and you're doing well, you're less likely to recidivate. So I'm here just to support the formerly incarcerated and incarcerated community, and also women who have been victims of domestic violence in itself, and especially women of color. Beyond the Bar Fellowship, basically our whole goal was to transcend the punishment paradigm, just to shift the narrative and see different ways to end violence, alternate ways of violence instead of, the police brutality, alternatives to mass incarceration in the colored, black, brown, immigration community, transgender community, female community. The rise of incarcerated women have tripled. It's 6 times more than men now. So basically just trying to shift the paradigm of the punishment, how we punish people. I think there's so many different challenges to start with, just these mandatory sentences, what's considered a violent crime and not a violent crime, why is someone doing a football field number in jail for a drug charge, why is certain genders being targeted, different races still being targeted, It's just a conversation that it's just challenging because it's so divided, and just trying to get people to understand that just because you make bad choices doesn't make you a bad person, just finding different ways to rally, to organize, to just create a conversation. So you have these legislators, these policymakers, from judges, so they can really be empathetic, and just decriminalize the system in a sense. Awareness, knowledge, being taught different ways to critically think, opposed of just being narrow-minded. A lot of people, they say ignorance is bliss. I mean, if you don't know, how can you really fully understand? And I think it's not per se book smart, it's also, community-based, getting yourself involved, just involving yourself in different organizations, or learning about the grassroots and seeing how to that type of knowledge, so you can go out there and facilitate the work that you're trying to do without being ignorant or misrepresenting something else that's not what it is. It's, like I said, it's not just what's in the books, it's what's around you, talking to those victims, learning about different type of violence, what drives a person to doing violence, basically educating yourself in all forms of all different ways, But I think that education is very important going to school, because you need to know, you need that blueprint, you need to be able to learn how to to learn, you know what I mean? Which ways, how do you start, you know? It's a reason for education, you know? It's like when you know better, you do better, you know? I need to be around like-minded people. I need people that have been there, done that, who can teach me the ways in order for me to get better, you know? And I feel like it's just being educated. It's been constant education from the experts who've been through the challenges, who can speak upon their experiences, to the advocates, to the activists, to the organizers who say, hey, this is how it is, but this is what we're doing to create a safe space, or we're trying to collab to create a movement and to organize how to end something else. It's been education throughout the whole day. I like the fact that everyone has something to bring to the table, you know, but everyone is trying to get to the same, the goal. And we're all here for the betterment of the good. You know, people that are facing injustice, a lot of us have been through it, you know, and I think that when you're talking about an organization, when you're talking about a different approach, how to stop things and how to make things better, you're going to absorb that knowledge that you just received, and you're going to, because you're educated, you know the buck doesn't stop here. You know to think outside the box. Okay, let me contact some organizers. Let me bring what I learned to my own community and start something locally. So we can maybe expound it to something to be nationally. You know, because you've got that knowledge, you're able to say, okay, these are basically toolkits on how I can, you know, expound on what my purpose is, you know, and stuff that I want to shift. I'm able to be in this gathering, and I'm observing information. Everything I'm learning is valid, is vital to my own movement. You have a free Marissa, there's a free Brescia. I got a free Tasha, because we all have a Marissa. We all know a Marissa. So I'm here because I don't know what, even as educated I am, I got my degree, this and that and third, but I don't really know how can I free Tasha? Like, what are they doing in other states to free their Marissas so I can free my Tasha? I need to learn that. I need to see who the person that handles the grassroots, who's the organizer, who facilitated the whole thing for Marissa, you know? I need to educate myself in order to help her, because I can't go up to the round table and not know anything. So this is like me just taking mental notes. I'm just absorbing this information so I can go ahead and make my own change and now be assistant to someone else and really feel like I can help Tasha. You know what I mean? It's very important. It's very important to remain sensitive and empathetic, and know you're not crossing the line of trying to help them and to put their story out, or then exploiting them, because that may not be your intentions. But these survivors, as I'm a survivor, I'm constantly healing. And there's still a lot of transference feelings sometimes I get when I hear someone else's story. It might trigger something in me. So you just have to be very sensitive of how you approach a survivor. You know, you want to put their story out there. You want to exonerate things that's happened to them, and, you know, build awareness for the next person that may be surviving, going through it. But you just have to still be sensitive, you know, and you know, just constantly just be aware that they are still healing, you know, that this is sensitive, be patient, just be knowledgeable, you know. And I learned just sometimes I just listen instead of just go ahead and speaking out about things. I have to just listen, you know, because even there's a lot of nonverbal communication sometimes, and I can sit there with a survivor and I can see their body language shift, or their tone in their voice changes, and it's like, okay, maybe they need a break. So just being sensitive of the nature of what's happening, and that this person is still going through it. And when they give their testimony, you just give them your all, you know, because that's hard, you know. Every time you put your all for the next person to help get out of it, you're still reliving your own stuff that you went through them, you know. So it's like a gift and a curse, because you're the expert to help them, but then it's like, I'm still going through this, you know. So you just have to try to find that balance. First thing first, go visit Tasha and let her know, we out here for you. It's a whole movement. Stay encouraged. I mean, as much as you can be while you're in prison, but just know that there's gonna be a day and you're going to be able to be vindicated. I feel like 10 years already out of a 30-year sentence is and what you have to go through, the fact that you're in prison because of something that you did, because of your protecting yourself. You're already going through your punishment, knowing the fact that this person died on your watch, but because you were protecting yourself. Even though you feel I'm not wrong, but this person died. So I'm not here to, no more punishment, you know what I mean? Enough of that. I feel like I can go to her and say, hey, I need you to write your story. This is what you need to do. Here's some links, or here's survival, this gathering here today. You can contact them. You can send your story out, you know, and people can start to rally and start to really take notice. Marissa, Brescia, all these victims did not know any of these people. They wrote a letter and told their story. And it just takes one person to say, oh, this is compelling. I know someone that knows someone, or let me just send this over. If I don't know what to do, I know someone else that knows what to do. So it's just basically just making people aware, you know. Now that Marissa's out, now that X, Y, and Z, contact them, you know. Everyone that's home is starting their own type of project of some sort, because they feel like, you know what, something was done to me and I don't want this to be done to anyone else, you know. So I feel like I need to let her know of the network of people that are out here that can help, you know. And don't stop writing. Don't stop writing your legislators. Don't stop writing the senators. We're getting a new governor soon. Write them, you know, just don't stop. And while you're doing that inside, I can be an advocate for you. But it's because I have some knowledge. Now I feel like I do have something to bring to the round table. I do have people I can contact and say, hey, can you help me with this? This is Tasha's story. This is what I've learned. This is what I've heard that you can do. Can you teach me and help me, you know? Like Marissa said when she was on the panel, she said, I always knew it was bigger than me, but I didn't know it was this big. You know, it's big. And that's me being formerly incarcerated. When I joined Beyond the Bars, not everyone in my cohort was formerly incarcerated, but you had a lot of social work students, criminal justice students, people that have been impacted directly or indirectly. Not all of them were black and brown. There were white, Caucasian, Asian. I was floored. And I'm like, you guys care about us? You guys care about stopping this, what's happening to incarcerated people? People do care? Oh. So it was like, I was ignorant to it, you know? So yeah, you don't know. People care, man. People care. As much as people hate, a lot of people care. They just don't know how to help. They don't know how to assist. I was one of the fortunate ones. I wasn't completely abandoned. You know, my family, I was just telling one of the young ladies that did 3 years, and she was on the panel with Marissa talking about, you know, it was a domestic violence. A guy died. She did 3 years without seeing her son. And if it wasn't for her mother, who advocated for her on the outside, she probably would have been lost in the system, still sitting, you know, and that's very important. That support on the outside speaks volumes, and it changes the dynamics of how your outcome may be. Because people that care for you, they'll tell your story for you. Because when you're in prison, you're not dealing with the law outside. You're dealing with the COs. That's the law. They make their own law. So you don't have a voice. So to be able to put pen to paper and reach out to a loved one, and they say, you know what, we're going to be out here advocating for you. That shifts the paradigm, and that helps you to get out. You know, you need that support, or you get lost in the system. You know, and I had that. I had my mother. I was always taken care of. My commissary was always paid for. I had so much commissary that I ended up cooking for other inmates who didn't have any, and I didn't sell my stuff. I just gave it away. And when I left, I didn't want nothing. Take it all, because I'm gonna be okay. You know, you're still out here, and I'm gonna be out there fighting for you. You know, I send people money sometimes still. You know, so I went through that, but I'm so fortunate that I was able to have that outside support. You know, people that had jobs to be able to go get me a lawyer that would put up a house for me. You know, who was credible enough to stand in front of court for me. You know, and it really kept my morale up. You know, it's depressing. Couple of times a night, you might think of like, no, I'm good. I don't want to wake up in the morning. Fuck life. But when you have that someone that's writing you that letter, when you make that phone call and that person put money on their books for you to call them, collect from prison, just to hear that voice, to get that visit, it keeps you sane. It keeps your sanity intact for the most part. So I was grateful. It's vital you need constant aftercare. Because if a person is institutionalized for so long, or just in a situation where they were taken out of society and the norms of society, how society looks at you, it's really hard to get reacclimated back into society. Even though you might be walking the whole walk, you know you're different. You're not the traditional person, you know, so you constantly have to have someone that you could check in with. When I got out of jail, we used to have people from the city come in and talk to us, females. And they say, hey, when you get out, you can come to school, do this, do that. Those positive things, you know, one day it clicked and I said, okay, I have someone I can go to. So when I left prison, I didn't go home. I went straight to the college. And I found this lady straight from the bus. They gave me one ticket. I didn't go home, I went to the college and I said, I'm out of jail. Everything you said that you could help me with, I'm here to cash in on that. And she helped me with everything, you know? So the point is now, it's like, you know, I graduated from Rutgers University, and my cohort, we're all formerly incarcerated. School in itself is stressful, because if you're formerly incarcerated and you've been dealing with so much life stressors, how the heck can you focus on your academia? Do you know how stressful it is to make good grades and to get a good GPA and to graduate nonetheless? So as a formerly incarcerated, we need help with housing, we need help with medical issues, we might still have mental health problems. I almost got evicted. I went to my director. What did he do? He found me low-income housing. I had problems with my custody because I was formerly incarcerated and his dad was not too happy about that, and he tried to take my son from me. I needed a lawyer. Went to my director. He got me some volunteer lawyers from the college. They took my case and they advocated for me and they stood up for me. So it's like you have to have those people in place, because those things were in place for me, it was no excuse for me to deviate from doing the right thing. Now, if you don't have those things, the aftercare, the resources to kind of help you stay on track, the rate of you recidivating is much greater, because you don't have the resources. So you're gonna want to steal, you're gonna have to fend and live life, and what are you gonna do? You know? So it's definitely important. It really helped. It helped me, because now it's like, you know, I'm doing so well. why would I want to deviate and go back to that life? It's not even a thought, but for some it is. It's like, I don't have the resources. Damn, I gotta make this money to feed my kids. You know, what do? You know, so having the aftercare and those resources in place is vital. It's vital. You have to advocate for the resources, and you have to, you know, some of the funding is limited, but that's why I chose to go back to school, because they always have funding. While I was in school my whole time there, I was getting scholarships, I was getting grants. You know, I just fell in tune with all the resources that they were giving me. So I didn't have to also go through a lot of hardship. And when the hardship I did go through, I utilized my city. I'm not proud, I'm not knocking welfare. If you need it, utilize it. I utilized every resource that was given to me and to make positive, you know, and I did utilize my welfare department. I told them I was formerly incarcerated. I told them I need a house and I need a school. A closed mouth does not get fed. And you have to be honest what you need, and you have to kind of advocate for yourself, you know, especially when you scrutinize for behaviors that wasn't like the norm for society. You have to prove yourself that you're a better person, you know, and I had to do the footwork, you know. I just feel like, you know, I also got myself involved with grant writers, you know, whoever can write a grant. How do I learned that it just has to be a need. You just have to have a need for it. There's money out there. You just have to show a need for it, you know, and you just have to network with the right people. You know, I know so much people because I went to school. I mean, I'm not saying school's for everybody, but I think that people need to give it especially formerly incarcerated people, they need to give that a try, because I think there was a lot of things that the city could not do for me, but once I got into the educational community, there were so many doors that was like, here's money, here's money, here's money. Why is everyone paying all this tuition for? There's money. You're being stored for certain programs, and you just have to tap yourself in. If not, ask. Use the media, the internet to ask questions, and how can you help me with this? You know, how can I get this? There's always an idea, there's always some type of instruction or some type of way to get around, you know? Don't give up, don't. If you see funding was given to one state, contact that person. How did you get funding? What can I do to get funding for me? You know, you have to advocate for yourself, because it's not going to be given to you. That's out the question. So you definitely have to go hard. If I didn't get on that bus from jail and say I'm going to the college instead of going to go get a bag of weed, I made that decision that day, and that was the best decision I ever made. Because then everything started just, here you go, here, what you need, you know? So definitely, you have to find it, you have to advocate for yourself. I'm a living testimony, you know? Been there, done that, been through it all, and I'm still here. And I just want to say to people that are still incarcerated, people that are formerly incarcerated that are having a hard time, don't give up on yourself, you know? Push through. There's a whole movement out here, you know, trying to help you. Just help yourself. It just takes a mustard seed to cultivate something great, you know, and I just feel like find that seed and plant it, and then let everything help manifest for yourself. Tatasha, stay strong. I'll be advocating for you. I just feel there's some, it's now, it's like this is the time for change, and I just want her to say the positive, and I'm just here to support everyone that's going through some sort of trauma, you know, in their lives, you know.